Alright guys, let's talk. Tomorrow's going to be one of those swing games for the Seahawks. If we win, we may get this season on track toward maybe a playoff berth. If we don't, it's really going to bode poorly for our future prospects. So, if we win this, we're 500 going into the bye week, and really I would be very satisfied with that. Jim Moore said last week or 2 weeks ago that we need to be 3-3 going into our bye or the season's over, and he also said we're going to take care of it. So hopefully things work out well there. But I shouldn't feel good about this game, but I do. So let's talk about that. First of all, who's going to play? Ken Lucas had to just his father just had his funeral, so we don't know if he's going to play or not. He played last week, and his father had died 2 days before that game, so now he's had the funeral, and they really don't know if he's going to play yet or not. So I don't know what's going on there. Mansfield Rado, full practice this week, so he's probably going to play. Hasselbeck's, of course, going to play. Out includes Rob Sims, Sean Locklear, C.J. Wallace, Walter Jones, and still Leroy Hill, but we knew that. Burleson had limited practice all week, so he'll probably play. Kearney, he's going to start according to Jim Mora. Travis Fisher, he looks fine. I don't know how much playing time he'll have to get, but he had a full practice on Thursday, so I'm assuming he's fine. Corey Redding and Lawrence Jackson both showed up on the injury list, but they practiced all week, so they'll be fine. So it's all about that offensive line, and that really comes back to what I said a minute ago about I shouldn't feel good about this game. It's we're going with, we might have to play Damian McIntosh, who we just signed off of God knows where. I'm sure he's garbage. We're probably gonna have to roll with Rado playing. We're going to need both Steve Vallos and Chris Spencer to play. Ray Willis is going to have to be out there. And if one guy goes down, it's going to get ugly fast. So when you're looking at that, you come to a couple conclusions. How are we going to be able to run the ball with this offensive line? And how are we going to be able to pass protect? These guys, I want to like them, but the bottom line is there's a reason why they don't start in the NFL unless somebody gets hurt. Because they're probably not very good. So, I'll say so far, I haven't had a problem with these guys. Ray Willis, I think, has played all right. Steve Vallos and Chris Spencer, I think, have done their job. They've not been dominant, probably, but they've done their job. They haven't been making me pull my hair out like you might see on some other teams. So, I like what I see from them so far, but they're not dominant players by any means. So when you're just looking at that, when you can't, we got this offensive line that could end up being really shaky. We got a quarterback who's coming off an injury, and that 2 + 2 is 4, guys. I mean, damn. If Matt gets hit the wrong way tomorrow, it could get ugly. And then you factor in the fact that we don't have our #1 cornerback yet. And we're going up against one of the best passing teams in the league. And I'm like, oh boy, what's Fitzgerald going to do to us? What's Bolden, what's Preston going to do to us? So, you guys on the front seven, you guys are for the most part healthy. So, Aaron Curry, Lawrence Jackson, Patrick Kearney, all these guys on the front line, you have to get pressure on Warner. And if we don't do that, they'll burn us through the air. And that's what it is. So we have to get pressure all day, and if we don't, it's going to get ugly. So, why am I confident? I feel good about this game. I expect to win, and I think we're going to win, in spite of everything I just said. Why? What I saw last week from Seattle really makes me feel good about the future prospects of this team. Arizona is obviously better than Jacksonville, probably by a considerable amount, but it doesn't matter. If we play like we did last week, we'll beat most teams in this league. We really will. We got 4 receivers on this team that I trust, maybe 5, plus a tight end, plus a couple running backs who can catch out of the backfield. So if Matt gets time to throw, we're going to be able to pass on Arizona. And I think we can pass on just about anybody in this league. But if we can get him time, I think we can throw for 300 plus and really shred them through the air. But I guess the most important question is Arizona good? They have a great passing attack. They don't really run the ball well still. They defensively, I don't know. I mean, they do some things well, but they don't seem to excel at anything. They got some good players, but they don't seem to play that well as a unit. But I don't think they're bad or anything. So, more than anything, it's a question of motivation. Arizona seems to be the kind of team that's going to show up 8 times a year. Like, against the 49ers to open the year. I thought, actually, the Cardinals played well, except for Kurt Warner. I thought Kurt Warner really shit the bed in that game and cost them the win. And then, against Jacksonville, the team showed up and kicked ass. The next week, Indianapolis, they were awful. Terrible, awful. Last week against Houston, they played well at the start, did everything they could to blow that game, and then they ended up pulling it out at the end in a very close, intense game. So, they may not be good. They could be reverting back to the Arizona Cardinals of before last year. So, I don't know, but I have some questions about that Arizona team. It's up in Seattle, and, you know, we have one of the biggest home field advantages in all the league. Maybe the biggest. Right up there with New Orleans, in my opinion. So, I'm probably going to expect to win tomorrow. We really need to take care of business at home if we want any chance of doing anything significant this year, and it starts with winning games like this one. And it guarantees the split, because going into Arizona later this year is going to be a tall task. So, if we pull this one out, we can guarantee a split at the very worst. And it's a divisional win. It'll help put Arizona, you know, away slowly but surely, because they really haven't looked that good this year. And I really wanted Houston to take care of them last week, but it was not to be. They almost did, but at the end of the day, Arizona won. So tomorrow, I'm looking for, you know, hopefully we can get some quick passes out of Matt's hand. And we can get yards after the catch. I think that's something we can do, because, you know, a guy like Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie gets a lot of picks, makes plays, but he gets burned a lot. Hopefully we can burn him once or twice. Defensively, it's got to be pressure all day. We can't leave Kelly Jennings or Ken Lucas or Josh Wilson with just expect them to be able to cover Fitzgerald and Bolden all day. It's not going to happen. So hopefully the guys show up like they did last week, because if we do, I see us winning this one. I'm going to go out there probably expecting to win. There's a long list of reasons why I shouldn't, but I'm feeling good. And we can really push our season in the right direction if we can pull it out tomorrow. So I don't know if tomorrow is a must-win, but I think it's very close, and there's a good chance that it is. So that's my preview. If this offensive line, makeshift offensive line, can play just average, I think we'll do it. So that's it for me. See you later.